Okay, checking out the film Don't Breathe, which is a 2016 horror thriller film. It's not really, it's horror, but it's more of a thriller. It's directed by Fede Alvarez, also co-produced by Sam Raimi, and it's also co-written by Alvarez. Stars Jane Levy, Dylan Minnette from Goosebumps, and Stephen Lang as the enjoyed this movie a lot, and it was a pretty big hit when it came out. Got a lot of praise, and I, it's one of those I don't mind the film, but I wouldn't watch it. It's not one of those I gotta go back and watch it again films, at least for me. I mean, the acting's fine from everybody. I mean, Jane Levy, I like, which I think was canceled way too soon. I've been meaning to do reactions to that show again. But like the character of Rocky, she has a tough home life where she has a little sister who she wants to get out of a. She wants to get her little sister out of a crappy home life because the mom's abusive, and maybe the boyfriend might be as well. Don't know about that. Um, but she pretty much her and her boyfriend Money, don't know his real name. Him and another guy named Alex, who's there's hints of like, oh, he has a crush on Rocky, pretty much. She, I guess, kind of likes him, but doesn't really, you know, care much. Um, like, I don't understand why he even hangs around them. I mean, I guess because he likes Rocky, but it's like, she's not really into you, dude. And then her boyfriend, Money, who's a thug, basically, because what they do is they break in people's random houses and steal either jewelry or items and clothes. At one point, he peed on her younger sister and pretty much escaped her home life. However, Money gets a tip on a veteran or 300K or whatever it was in cash in his house in an abandoned Detroit neighborhood. So pretty much they stake out his home, watch him a bit. He lost his daughter in a car accident, and then the three spy on him. You know, sort of. It's kind of. It's a pretty well shot scene where um, Stephen Lang's character he approaches them and he kills Money in a. They try to do it. They try to make it all epic with a slow mo, but then it's like zoomed in weirdly, and then you don't really see like the bullet. You see the bullet enter, but it's not really a cool practical effect or anything like that. So it's a lame kill to me. This movie really like there's some decent stuff that they do with like the cat and mouse where it's Rocky and like him for a minute, and that was a pretty cool scene I liked where he's shooting off his gun and find her way out. But then, so yeah, I didn't care for I cared a little bit for Rocky's character because she is trying to get her sister out of a crappy situation, but at the same time you're committing crimes and robbing from a blind man. Let alone he lost his daughter as well, so it's like, it's like I kind of give her, I can't give her so much, but then we don't really know much about Alex, don't know about his dad except he's a police officer, I assume, because he's wearing the officer's or uniform in that picture. We never see his dad, so don't know. But he's like, I can't leave my dad. Because Rocky and Money want to leave California. She's like, come with us. But at the same, but then like the scene where they get the tip about Norman's about Stephen Lang's character, Alex is like, I'm out, I can't do that. But then he decides to do it anyway because Rocky's doing it, so maybe she'll like me if I do it. But yeah, pretty much just most of the movies them trying to sneak out of the blind man's house, trying to not get caught. He shoots the movie. Then they get. I liked the idea. Okay, I like the idea of blind man's home, and he, I guess, kidnapped that girl who paid him off. Which I'm like, you know, to go to jail, you could have just not accepted the money and went for the whole case thing. But I guess her is a baby, and they don't let her go. That's what he says anyway. Then he shoots her accidentally because he thinks it's the other people in the house. Um, and that's when we get the cool basement dark scene. I wish we had more scenes of them trying to avoid him. And then basically after that, um, what else happens? Oh, then trying to read on Wikipedia. Okay, Alex knocks out the blind man for a minute, then they flee upstairs, and then the dog, of course, throughout this movie chases them as well, because they can't escape that dog. Um, then Rocky goes through the vents, and then of course Nordstrom, uh, Stephen Lang's character catches up, beats Alex to a pulp, thinks he kills him at one point. They gotta do a fake out. Why? I don't know. I didn't really care much about his character because I didn't know anything about him except that he likes Rocky. Money's character I didn't care for because I don't. He's a thug, so like Rocky's character I somewhat get what she's doing, but then still. And then they're like, well, we can't call the police and report him because then we'll get in trouble, but then we won't be able to keep the money. So if you saw Cedar Chucky, you know where this is going, and pretty much he wants to do the same thing they did to that other girl they had captured. Wants to do to Rocky, but then Alex comes to the rescue, beats up the blind man, and then he shoots Alex dead, and then Rocky gets away, but then not really, because then she gets knocked out after a long, annoying, kind of boring, non-eventful scene with the dog trying to trap it in the car. And then she's able to beat the blind man by sirening his ears and beats him to a pulp. And then I guess shoots, like the gun goes off and I guess he falls in the basement. Which is weird because this basement doesn't have like normal steps, like it has like a ladder, which is weird to go down, but he like falls down. I guess the gun went off somehow and shoots him in the armpit. um, Pretty much we're believed that the blind man's dead, but not really, because then on the news, Rocky sees police and news people, and pretty much he's recovering, and pretty much Rocky and her sister go off to Los Angeles. And then the movie ends, and then I'm like, I don't care. And they got nerve to have like a sequel. which I'm like, why? Because like, who cares? And then the fact that they try to have you sympathize with this guy, I guess, because he lost his daughter. Also trying to be a good guy in the second film where he's trying to protect this little girl that I guess he adopts. But then I'm like, no, I don't. No, I'm not. I can't cheer on a guy who kidnapped a girl in the first film, all because he was mad over. Granted, it was an accident, and then also she regret doing it. But then just no, I can't cheer on, and then they want to make it all. Oh, he's an anti-hero, really, but he's really a good guy overall because he's a veteran. And, he's blind. I'm like, what? That's just dumb. Dumb, dumb, dumb. Uh, so I really don't have any high hopes for the sequel at all. I mean, really at all. Because, again, like, I don't get, like, why would they do that? And granted, it's kind of, I guess, trying to be different at the same time, but then I think they also have burglars in that one too. But they're after, but then I heard the people are after the little girl, I guess, really. Which I'm like, why? And I guess the second one made a lot of money as well. Whatever. But yeah, when that comes out, I was short enough to watch it. But I was not really a big fan. I'm not really a big fan of the first film, so, it is what it is. If you like the film, that's cool. I could not get into it much. That was pretty boring overall, but the acting's fine. Cinematography is pretty good. Characters I can care for really anybody. I couldn't really get behind anybody. Um, but yeah, overall, it's just a time waster to me. Um, but yeah, thanks for listening. Take care, and please like and subscribe.